Hey, what is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video on the channel. In today's video, we are going over Asia Broadband, ticker symbol AABB. Now, this company did recently just release some fantastic news regarding the launch of their crypto token, and I think that going forward, this is going to have a lot of positive implications. So we will be going over that news today. I'll be letting you know what I think it means for the company going forward, and then we will also check out the technical analysis to kind of see what the charts are doing, and I will give you my input on what all has happened. So that being said, let's go ahead and let's jump straight into today's video. Now, if you do want access to all of this information as soon as I do get it, if you want access to my trades, my trade alerts, as you can see here, I post my video schedules, I give notes to all of these analysis that I do, my daily newsletter, as well as everything else that I do on this channel or as an investor, definitely go down to the link in the description. It'll bring you over to my Patreon, and that's where I'm fully transparent with all that information. Also, if you are looking to expand out into a new brokerage or start your own investment journey, I highly recommend using the referral link down below. Whenever you click the referral link, it'll bring you over to Webull. Go ahead and open an account and deposit $100, and you will get 2 free stocks valued all the way up to $1,850. With that being said, let's go ahead, let's jump straight into this news, and let's see what this means for Asia Broadband, ticker symbol AABB. So as we can see here from the title, it says that Asia Broadband surpasses $1 million in gold-backed cryptocurrency sales in only the first 2 weeks after its launch and prior to marketing campaign. So right there we can see that there is already some great news. We do realize that, this launch wasn't the most hyped up thing ever. It's not like everybody knew about it, and the fact that they were able to generate about $1 million in these sales definitely says that there's a good bit of open interest and that people are actually excited about the token. Also, I think it's important to note, and I'm glad that they put it in there, that this is prior to a marketing campaign. We will go into a little bit more detail about the preliminary things that they had to go through before they really start to push it, but as we can see, again, that this is prior to them even really pushing it out to the general public. They were doing a whole bunch of testing, making sure that their developments, making sure that their software, and making sure that the overall processes and systems were going to work before they decided to really boost this thing out there. So I think going forward, once they do get a marketing campaign going, once they educate the public on what a gold-backed crypto is, once they start to take advantage of this smaller sector of the overall crypto space, and once they continue to, again, push this to society, I think it is going to generate even more revenue, and we are going to see a lot more sales coming in the future. So that being said, let's go ahead, let's quickly read through this little article, let's see what all they had to say, and then I'll give you all my input on what I think it means for the company going forward. So as they do say here, that AABB is pleased to announce that the company has recorded over $1 million in AABBG gold tokens within the first 2 weeks after it became available on March 22nd. The initial 2 weeks of token sales have allowed the company's AABBG token developer, Core State Holdings, to monitor and refine the information and transaction processing to validate token sales operations. Now that the sales verification phase is complete, the company is proceeding to implement an international marketing campaign aimed to proliferate brand exposure. This will increase token sales and AABB wallet transactions, and it will also amplify public and investment community awareness of the company. So as you can see here, this was just a little preliminary trial in a sense of what exactly they are doing with the company. They wanted to get it onto the market, and they wanted to really see what would happen once people got their hands on it, because whenever you before it's launched, right before launch, when it's pre-launch, and you say, well, I think we're going to do these numbers, and I think this is going to happen, or I think that we're going to do well, it's all speculation at the end of the day. You never really know, and you never really have true data until you release it to the public and you see how they interact, what the transactions look like, if there's any tunings that need to be made. As they did say here, they were allowed to refine some of the processes, and I think that's super duper important that they did this before really pushing it out, because what you don't want to do is get everyone so hyped up about the release of this crypto. You don't want to get everyone so excited about it, and then whenever it releases, there's a whole bunch of bugs and errors, as of course that will kill the hype, and when the hype dies, the stock dies. And so with that being said, I'm very happy that they did this. I think it's super important that they got this out the way, and now they do understand that their overall token and all of the developments that they have made are compatible, and they're capable of really doing a lot of numbers. And so going forward, I think this is going to be very beneficial for the company, especially as they start this marketing campaign. I think this marketing campaign is going to serve them very well. Of course, they do have the revenue and some of the cash in order to get it going. I think they're going to need to continue to generate more revenue if they really want to push this out there, but I think the amount of sales in which they are going to generate from this marketing campaign will definitely make it worth it. So I'm very excited to see what some of the next results are and the next releases of how many of these tokens they are selling. I think as they do start to push this thing out into the broader markets, that it will even further not only sell more tokens, but the overall price of the tokens will appreciate, which will of course be beneficial to AABB. And going forward, I think this is all going to be super duper positive for the company. Now, there is one other thing that I wanted to note that I think we are getting more progress on, and I'm very excited about. It says that the company is now developing with CSHC its own proprietary cryptocurrency exchange that will allow AABB wallet users to quickly exchange their AABB gold tokens for major cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, etc. The proprietary exchange will add tremendously to transaction fee revenues and allow for the price appreciation of AABBG influenced by market and demand and the limited supply of tokens released into circulation. So I think going forward, this is going to be super important. As I did say that with the marketing campaign, they have enough cash and they do have a good bit of gold and they have everything like that. But going forward, they are going to need to continue to generate revenue as they have in the past through some of these transaction fees from the $1 million in which they have sold. So I think if they are capable of getting this exchange out there and if they are capable of doing all of this right here, I mean, of course, getting a proprietary cryptocurrency exchange is not the easiest thing. So if they are able to get that out there and really finish up on that, I think the new transaction revenues in which they will receive will even further allow them to expand out their business and further expand out their marketing campaign. And so it's almost like this is one big cycle. You know, they're doing a whole bunch of things to reinvest back into the company, which will then allow them to grow, allow their token to appreciate, and allow their company to expand. And so I think this is going to be fantastic for the company. Very, very excited about this news. So with that being said, let's go ahead, let's jump straight into their technicals and let's see what all I am paying attention to. Well, ooh, that thing's moving, boy. All right, here we go. So we are here and we are looking at the charts. Now, the very last time that I did an update on AABB was actually on March 10th. Now, it's been about a month recently. I have just kind of, or the last time I checked up on the technicals, it's been about a month, and I haven't really done too much on them. Well, what we did notice is that at that time, I noticed that they were starting to set a bit of this pattern here. Now, typically what we'll notice with the company is once they start to trade within this triangle or kind of like flaggish pattern, it is going to provide them with, you know, they're going to either go really far up or really far down, and you can never really know like to a T where it's going to go, but you can kind of just guess based off of, you know, certain things, if there's a catalyst coming up, as we did see from the releasing of the token. So I think knowing that the token was going to be released on the 22nd, we all had a feeling that we would see this thing really start to see some growth. Everything was leading up, and this was just a perfect setup for this thing to really start to expand. So I know me personally and a lot of the other investors within my Discord or my Patreon, we all bought a lot of shares within this little time here. I think it was right here on this day. They went down the next day, we picked up some more, and then we started to really see it blow out. Now, the good thing is we are still seeing it, you know, operate within a pretty good uptrend. I would say from, let's see, we get this line going here. So as we can see here, it is still operating within a pretty good uptrend, but the one thing that I am noticing is that we are struggling heavily to bypass some of these levels around this like 55-cent mark roughly. So hopefully going forward, we can start to see this thing push past that. I mean, even on releasing day, which is going to be like one of the most hyped up days ever, we saw it really struggle to push past that. And I think going forward, it's going to be important that as this uptrend hopefully does continue, maybe not just like this, but as we do see it continue and slowly start to work its way up, that we see it bypass this resistance, and that would be fantastic for this company. Now, of course, I do believe that as the AABBG token does appreciate, that will even further help the stock price in itself grow. And I think that going forward, as this marketing campaign does begin, as they increase their sales, as they do continue to mine in some of these gold mines, they did just get a new gold mine. I think all of that is going to allow for the stock price to grow as people do continue to find this to be a great investment. They're going to have a lot more exposure very soon here as they start their marketing campaign. Hopefully they do come across a good bit of investors who may also help push this stock price up. I'm expecting that this will continue to be in a good uptrend for the next couple months, honestly. Of course, we may see some red here and there. I mean, as we do see here, they do have moments where we see dramatic decreases, but I think that's totally normal. I think within cryptos, we are seeing there is just simply a lot of volatility, but it doesn't really surprise me to see this thing growing as they have so much going for them in the future. So my guess is I truly believe that right now is a great time to get in. For me personally, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. But with that being said, I think this is a great time to get into the stock. So personally, I will likely be growing out my position right about now. I will be dollar cost averaging up as I did buy shares way down here, but I think that going forward, this is still a fantastic investment, and I wouldn't be surprised to see with maybe some more good news with the news that we did get today. And it's up 10% today just off that news. So as news does continue to come out, I wouldn't be surprised to see this slowly work its way up and retest that 55-cent mark at some point within the next few months. So with that being said, that is about it for today's video on AABB. And it was a bit of a shorter video, but I really wanted to cover everything going on with this news and what I think it means for the company going forward. I hope you guys guys did enjoy today's video. If you did, you can let me know by smashing that like button and subscribing to the channel if you are new. I post 2 to 3 times every single day, and I go live at market close every day as well. So that being said, I'll see you all very, very soon. Peace.